Welcome back. The time is now 9:16. New summer job. What are you going to do with that paycheck? Financial professional Fred Creutzer with Creutzer Financial Services is joining us, and he's got some tips for teenagers and also for parents.
Absolutely.
To make sure that you do something that's good with the money.
Yes. Typically, kids in school don't get taught money management skills. In fact, they did a survey, a financial literacy test, that from 15 to 18-year-olds, they only received a 60% passing rate. So they're really not educated on what to do with money. So mom and dad's can have a big impact as far as getting them in the right direction.
So instead of looking at buying stereos and other equipment and stuff like that, what should we be doing with the money?
Well, good question. We got to educate them the difference, as we should be teaching them all along, the difference between a want and a need. Because what they're going to see is all these wonderful shiny objects. They like to go online. They like to do their Amazons. They like to see all these beautiful things. But they got to understand that maybe it's an impulse buy, and maybe mom and dad can share a story when they bought something impulsive and then they didn't really need it, and yet we're spending money for things. But really think out what we're spending our money on, especially the young guys and gals.
All right, well, let's get to the tips. Let's see. The first thing is the check, right?
The check. Exactly. The first thing we want to teach our kids, especially when they're getting their first checks, let's set them up with a checking account. Let's get them maybe to an ATM machine where they're not being charged a fee, set them up with different accounts. They got to get that semblance of understanding how to manage their money. And also talk to them about getting a credit card. Establish credit even at a young age.
But you also want to deal with a budget. You just don't want credit. You want to make sure, because the credit can get you in trouble too.
Yes, and that's where we got to teach them the money skills, but budgets with everything. Mom and dad should be teaching them all along the balance of a dollar. But as a mom and dad, I have 3 kids, you and I were mentioning. I take care of, my wife does as well. We manage their money. We give them so much money that they can spend. So you understand there's a difference of what we can spend and what's coming in, but make sure they have something set aside for that rainy day. If the car goes up, something goes up, they're not hitting mom and dad up for that expense.
That may still happen, right?
Yes, it still happens.
Well, the other thing is, as parents that you learn too, there are taxes here. You've got to pay these. They come out of the check too.
Isn't that amazing when your kid comes home with their first paycheck and they go, Dad, I thought I was making X number of dollars, but when they come home, they realize the difference between gross and net is a big difference because they got their federal, their state, the Medicare tax. All of a sudden now they realize that they don't get to keep that whole dollar per hour that they thought they were keeping. So they really got to understand the taxes in effect, that they get the net check at the very end.
And then the other thing is, after they have to fill out tax forms, and so they need to learn how to do that as well, or at least get you to help them.
Yeah.
But then you might get it back.
Yes.
After the year's over.
And it's really good even at a young age, if we could get our kids to, they're really computer literate, to do a TurboTax. Learn that skill of filing their own taxes. This way they don't have to go to an outside company and pay a fee. But that's a great skill for them to learn, is doing their own taxes.
And also saving. Make sure they save.
Yes. At the end of the day, make sure they're still putting money aside for that rainy day, just like mom and dad should be doing as well.
Okay. All right. Thanks a lot, Fred.